I do want you to
Yeah.
participate to see it from this different angle. So, all right, we'll see on Wednesday, and then we'll see how it goes. So, yeah, yeah, very cool.
Okay, Janelle
Good,
is here.
good, good, good
Hi.
morning, Janelle. Good morning, Janelle. I'm
Hey,
so
good
pleased
morning.
to hear. So pleased. Hello, Janelle. How are you?
Morning,
I'm doing,
Janelle.
oh, good morning. I'm doing pretty good today.
Excellent,
Wow, good.
excellent, excellent,
This is
excellent,
good.
excellent. All right. Before I forget, a little bit of housekeeping. We were thinking, we were brainstorming over here. Well, kind of, I guess, but was thinking that I'm kind of keen for you to come on Thursdays also. Until Ryan gets his sleeping sorted out, we'll be kind of sneaky a little bit because I know Ryan sometimes maybe he's not there right now, but he comes while you're busy. So he's still experiencing the session, albeit in a different way. So if you come on Thursdays until he gets his sleeping, in the meantime, use that time. It's free time. Use it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to
Brilliant.
join for sure.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Ah,
Brilliant. I will see you on
good.
Thursday then. Excellent. 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 Very exciting. Very exciting. I love that. I love that. All right. Anything been happening in particular? Just in stuff around you that stands out, that grabbed your mind, that you were thinking about, that ended up in your heart, maybe.
Yes.
What's that?
I said yes.
Oh, all right.
Uh,
Well, if you want to share, we'd love to hear. We'd love to hear.
yeah, this week has been about kind of hard to pinpoint exactly, but it goes really far back into my childhood. And here, I'll start with the definition and then we'll kind of move forward.
Excellent.
But what's been
Excellent.
emphasized for me over the last week, and this has been before, but really I would say just the last few days, it was so obvious. I
Can I
had to
pause you
start like,
just 1 sec, please, Janelle?
yeah,
Your mic is a little muffled. Not sure
is
why.
it okay? Hold
Yeah. Yeah.
on.
No,
Let me-
sometimes I don't know what kind of mic you have, but sometimes they get caught in the collar or whatever.
No, these are the they're the Apple uh Air Pros, but it might
Sometimes
let me try without it. Hold on,
sometimes
let me
they're just upside down or something like that.
hold on. Let's see what we can do here. Hold on one
You
sec.
may want to. Oh, are you on your
Oh
computer?
no, heck, I can hear you. No.
Yeah. Or you on the
All right.
phone?
Hold
I
on,
don't
let
know.
me try something really quick, okay?
The other thing I wanted to say to Janelle that happens sometimes is you switch to a headphone and Zoom doesn't switch. So you have to go to the audio settings for Zoom. But if it's on the phone, then that doesn't apply. If it's on the computer, there you go next to the unmute button, and then you have to, manually select your headset sometimes. There we go. There we go. All right. Excellent.
Is this any better?
Yeah.
Much better. Yeah,
Much
Okay. Let's do
right.
this route. I think I got kicked out. I don't even know what happened.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's good though when you need to reset the audio. Sometimes you just leave and come back, and it resets the audio. That's one of the
Okay.
things to do. Yeah. Zoom's a little
Yeah.
finicky with the audio.
Yeah. In the last couple of days, just electronics and stuff has been acting up anyway. We're in a
Yeah.
Mercury
Yep.
retrograde,
I
meaning
guess.
everything's affected.
I guess everybody says that, but it seems to me electronics is kind of pretty much always acting up. But all right, we notice it
Well,
more
that's
in
very,
Mercury.
yeah, it's very true. I think because it's been emphasized, so you're looking for ways.
Exactly, exactly,
So,
exactly. All right, so start with your definition. You said, yeah.
So my definition, to kind of sum up the last several days, it's cueing traps.
Wow. Wow. You are
So
queuing traps. Wow.
cueing traps. You know how
Mm,
everyone, we're cueing constantly, whether we're aware of it or not, and
mm.
other people are as well. Well, this is
Absolutely.
the other side of it. And
Yes.
this is when others cue you in order to manipulate you, upset you, or drain energy from you with the intent to harm you.
Mm, mm. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So this queuing traps is not you queuing somebody to trap you, but they are using queuing to trap you in some way, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, it's possible that, we could do this without being aware, but really our intent is not to harm. You know what
Mm,
I mean? But
right.
others use it trying to harm us, and we have to really be aware of this because it will cause emotional problems, just things that you'll have to really work hard at to not let it drain your energy. So
Yes.
that's kind of
Yes.
setting the scene, and just getting to it. Really, my relationship with my father, it's not the same ever since my mother passed away when I was a teenager. The relationship really changed drastically with my father. He was just a lot more distant. He wasn't really emotionally available anymore. But I think it
Ah.
goes even further than that.
Oh.
And something I believe in his childhood possibly happened. And I've noticed now, as I'm growing up, he likes to manipulate.
Mm.
And he does this in the name of Christianity and
Yes.
religion.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
what's happening is that the the manipulation hold that he's had over me my whole life, I'm waking up to seeing it for what it is.
Mm.
And that bubble is starting to pop, and it's been very, very difficult for me. Cher's book reading like really touched me in a different way. Hers was more like physically or physical abuse,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and mine
Mm-hmm.
was, I mean, I guess you can call it abuse, but it was all more
Oh, it is.
emotional.
Oh,
it,
it's
you
very much
know
abuse. Very much abuse.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, hey, good morning. Okay, hold on one second. What is it,
Mm-hmm.
Juliet? What? Okay, go tell Daddy I'm on the. Okay, sorry. Juliet popped in really quick. Anyway, so
Mm.
that's what I've been dealing with, and I'm gonna tell you, it was tough. I had, you know, some breakdowns, some bubbles are popping, and I'm realizing how much this has affected me mentally and caused a lot of problems. And I've probably made a lot of decisions that I was unaware of just because of
Mm.
the
Mm.
manipulation programming.
Mm.
So it was a very good week, but very, lot of
Yeah.
tears, a lot, just
It was
ugly
good,
as
but not
well.
fun, right? It was good,
Ye-
but not nice.
Absolutely. It
Yeah.
was it was a rough one for me, specifically yesterday. So that's what I'm like, I know I gotta meet with you guys today. So that's kind of where it started. But an email was sent out from my dad, and it was linked to me and my brothers. And basically, the details really aren't necessary. But the
Mm-hmm.
main thing is he is accusing me or telling me that I'm not a Christian, and possibly my
Uh,
brothers aren't either. And I really have to, because I know where I stand.
oh
You
yeah.
know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't even understand how someone can
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
attempt to place that much judgment on
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
in your heart. So it
Right.
was really tough. And this is coming from my father. And like, I felt okay, there's a decision to be made. I have a choice. How am I going to let this affect me? And it didn't affect me as it
Brilliant.
had in the
Brilliant.
past. It affected me
Brilliant.
differently. I had to let go, and that's when the breakdown happened. But you know, it's for a different reason. It wasn't because I was trying to please him, as I have. So
No.
that's what's going on.
Yeah. So can I ask if it is that the letting go, it's basically, facing the awful truth relative to your father.
Yes, this is like my reality bubble just completely shattering, and
Yeah.
being okay with the fact that I've been manipulated my whole life, really up till yesterday.
And the essential element, if I'm hearing this and hearing past it, is that your father's just not that particularly a nice person.
Yeah.
He's got his issues with hierarchy and dominance and stuff like this. It's security. I'm just not him personally now. I'm just saying in general. This is the psychology. When people are manipulative and when they say things like this, "Oh, you're not a Christian," that's kind of a bubble mindset. It's hierarchy. It's looking to pull you down. So he's better, and if people can't stand somebody being independent and good and happy if it makes them look bad by comparison. So they pull them down. It's a whole mess. I mean, you have the whole program on it, the psychology of the superiority paradigm. It's all about that psychology, that mindset. And it's really, really useful to understand it, because when we truly understand it fully, we can be at peace. And it's just people are the way they are. It's like you don't get upset. Like you don't get upset and angry and resentful with a lion because the lion's trying to eat you. That's what the lion does. It's just its nature. So same thing with that psychology. It's just how they grew up, how they think, how they understand. It's just their world. So we need to learn to be elephants, not trying to be a better lion.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've reached the point where, and I mean, there's always those invisible strands that you constantly have to keep cutting. You know what I mean? When there's a really strong relationship, you let go, and then maybe later down the road you have to let go again. It just keeps deeper layers. You have to keep letting go. But I feel like yesterday was a pretty big breakthrough, honestly. And I've come to the point where I feel sorry for him, and not in like, you know what I mean? Not like
you're compassionate. You're compassionate.
I feel compassion for him. Yeah. Because it's not in a negative way, but I just see that. And he did, he didn't really talk about his childhood much. He, tell stories, but I feel like perhaps he was manipulated and was programmed to manipulate. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even, whether he's aware of it or not, that's not really for me to determine. It's really sad. And I don't want to be like that. And I definitely don't want Mike to pass that down to my kids. Like, I want to break that generational cycle.
There you
Now,
go. I heard that right when you started saying this. This is really fascinating, because this generational cycle has come up because of wave compatibility with different people.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And to consciously, deliberately change to break that, it's a big deal.
What an insight. This is reading, and it was saying that feel like really a breakdown. This was when overwhelmness actually grow big. you feel that like a breakdown. But these are the very moment when you actually understand, you perceive the shocks, actually a gateway or a portal to moreness. Because now you know all these things, because yes, you are far more stronger than your self-conception right now, because it was a pretty beautifully, and you came out more strong that this is going to be the end, and now I will write my own story for my children also. So empowering, Janelle.
Thank you, Beena. I appreciate your encouraging words, because going through it, I definitely don't feel that way. You know what I mean? Rising through the end of it, I do. But thank you. I really appreciate that.
This is what you did, Janelle.
Thank
You.
you. Yeah.
What we were discussing, and now I can see that the mourner's art, because it was related to art. That once you actually feel that, when you actually survive that and come out of this, that ability to absorb the shocks, not only absorb, we were discussing that, to perceive that, because when we perceive that, it is a deliberateness involved in that. Because when we perceive, we can see the mourners, and this is exactly what you did.
Thank you. Yeah.
You have love, you have insights. What else we can really hope for? Amazing, amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, you're right.
It's,
Very powerful. Very powerful. Very powerful. Yeah, yeah. And and again, too, at the initial perceptions, they're painful, but the more we understand, the less painful they become. And the more you accept it as a reality, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you can deal with compassion, awareness, deliberateness, strategy, overview perspective, capital diplomacy. All of these factors start to come into play. And, it is what it is, and you can deal with it. It's very powerful. Very, very powerful.
So I have a couple other definitions in my dictionary power that I wrote down. So since we're talking about this, I feel it's appropriate. I'll just keep going.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. Fantastic. No, I want to hear that. It's very cool. Very cool.
So as I mentioned, cueing traps. So my second one is self-honesty. And this is really big for me. This is seeing the ugly truth about yourself and implementing the appropriate changes to become a better version of you. And I think for me, self-honesty, I've seen the ugly truth before, but I didn't have a game plan to implement the change, or maybe I even had a game plan, but I don't know if I saw it through to the end to implement those changes exactly the way I wanted it. I did it here and there, but I may have not always been deliberate about continually doing it and creating a habit. It's so quiet down here, quieter than I could have ever imagined, and strangely peaceful. No hope, no fear, no pain, no emotion, nothing. Just quiet, beautiful quiet. No expectations, no worries, no plans, no past. I find comfort in the stillness, just like an unexpected breath of fresh air. There is nowhere to be, nowhere to go, nothing I need to do. Just simple, uninterrupted peace and quiet. Perhaps I should have let go much sooner, for rock bottom is better than expected.
Mm. Wow. Wow.
Moment of bliss.
Yeah.
When
Thank you.
Humbling, you know, and in so many ways too. But sometimes you have to get to that bottom before you can rise above. It's a big deal what you did. You know, big deal. I know for me, uh, you know, it's facing that awful truth that
Yeah.
once you get there, though, I know for me, the freedom was tremendous. And you think,
Yeah.
oh my God, how the heck did I hang on to that for that long in my life? I don't miss it. You know, there's people, whether they're family or friends, that they were never right for me. And I just didn't want to believe that, you know, because of who they were or what their relationship was. But guess what? When you really face that awful truth, that's when it becomes that awesome truth. So
Yeah.
I just applaud you at every level.
Oh,
Because
thank you.
yeah, it's a big deal what you did. You
Yeah.
and paused and redirected and reset it for
Yeah.
you to claim over to your father. Now, good for
Thank
you.
you.
I don't
And
know
then,
if you haven't to you with
Yeah.
that. You want because when you don't have any hope and you don't have any need, nothing, just in the moment right now, without having any desires, no worries, nothing. This
Yeah.
is the state of being, and this is what everybody looks for. So congratulations, Janelle, you actually have it.
uh,
It's
well,
beautiful.
thank you. Yeah, it's that contrast when you have like a really tough time, I guess. You know, you get a little glimpse of that. But thank you for sharing that, Beena. The title, I like Moment of Bliss. I think I'm gonna call it that instead. That's very insightful. Thank you.
Yeah.
A lot of independence of being now for yourself. Uh,
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
you wonder
Yes,
where
yes.
all that was
Yeah.
prior
It's very
to
insightful.
when you think about it.
Yeah,
It was
yeah, very
somewhere
insightful.
locked inside the darkness. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So
And
this will bring me. Oh no, go ahead. I was gonna have
no, let me hear
one
your
last
last
thing
one.
to read.
I
So
just,
go ahead.
yeah, please. No, I think my point is going to be it's going to be applicable after your fourth point. So let's hear the next one. Yeah.
Okay, so the last one I wrote down. This is called the Spirit of the Phoenix. Rising from the ashes means you first must go through the fire, an intense cleansing where everything around you is burnt into nothingness. This is the fire of your beliefs, the fire of your egos, the fire of your false self, the fire of your expectations, the fire of victimization, the fire of your reality, the fire of your relationships, the fire of who you think you are, the fire of what people told you to be, the fire of your hopes and dreams. It must all be burnt into ashes, absolute, complete nothingness. Then, and only then, through the remains of that nothingness, this is when you can rise up out of the blackness and soot, unharmed and untouched. You may now spread your wings and fly.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow,
oh,
flying high.
yes, yes, yes.
Beautiful.
Magic, 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 magic. That's resolution.
Mm.
So for me, that's what I was feeling, right? What you kind of bring up in me is I resume out, 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 all the way. Super big picture, complete abstract, something from Janelle. Right? If we look at it in that sense, and okay, Father, now what is the abstract of a father? Something that takes care, guards, teaches children. All right, how may be questionable, but if we look at it into now, and that end result change and is awesome, is it not?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And you say, oh, wow, wait a second. There's this end result of learning and growth between friends. You see it in a friend group where they're friends, but the one picks on the other, and they want them to kind of push back. They're irritated by that perceived weakness, right?
Yeah.
So, so when you think of it in this sense, where you're being pressed a little bit to claim your independence, stand up for yourself, acknowledge the realness, and say, no, this isn't accurate. This isn't. And again, just stand up for your own self without being combative necessarily, which is that point of claiming your independence of being. And again, it's that point of beingness, the moment of bliss. When you put those two together and you put it in big picture, then it's like, wow, you can even say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Um, I appreciate that. Yeah, I was just writing some notes. Claiming your independence of being. Yes, very good. So yeah, it
Very
was
powerful.
very powerful. It was a lot, and you're right. What going through all that, the contrast or whatever, getting to the end is the important thing because there's a lesson to be learned, and that's why what else was emphasized is don't ever be a quitter. Always see something through to the end. If you quit something, you'll be very frustrated, and you really won't get. Oh, well, you know what? This kind of just brings me right to my next point. This was from the book, from the slides, but I'm just going to go right into, since we're in my dictionary of power terms. This leads
Mhm.
me to my next point I wrote down. This is extracting. Sifting through the distractions and getting to the important stuff, much like panning for gold, sifting through the rocks and dirt and finding the gold nugget. A true reward indeed. This requires deliberateness and patience.
Mm.
And when you see something through to the end, this is what your reward is. You get that gold nugget at the end, the ruby, or whatever that precious
Yes.
gem
Yes.
is. And had I given up yesterday and just not gone through all the emotions of letting go, probably would have a much different morning today. You know what I mean? It would not be the emphasizing things through the end and not through the process, the way the process was
Yes.
intended to go through.
Exactly. 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 This is the absolute key. And that reward at the end, that nugget,
Mm-hmm.
that's the nugget, that's the jewel. real deep, true understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Completely different. What would happen if you would look at this as a positive and as a thank you from your father?
And that's
Yeah.
my attitude now. I see that going through it, you don't see it. Getting through to the end, absolutely. Yes, now I appreciate the learning lesson because this was a very tough one for me.
Good.
And yeah, and that's kind of why I'm like, well, I kind of feel sorry for you because what Sil was saying, I think they are somewhat aware. Maybe I said earlier, I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know, but
Oh yeah.
thinking
Oh yeah.
about it, yeah, I think they are aware of what they're doing. And that's their
Yeah.
choice. I
Mhm.
choose differently. So
Yeah.
yes, that's a very good point too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's powerful. And again, you know, that awareness, it's not a clear conscious awareness. It's more emotional type of awareness and instinctual
Mm-hmm.
awareness. But it's there. They won't be able to explain why it's right, and it may seem wrong, but it's kind of right. And then you act in the way that you, and then suddenly, with the one that be able to change it, because then they never do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And not because they intimidate or anything, but okay, finally you stood up. That's all I want you to do is just stand up for yourself, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and claim your independence of being. That's all. They just can't stand to see people being you or whatever. So yeah, it's an instinctual thing. But yeah, it's very powerful. Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool.
Janelle, Sil mentioned that very interesting part about they almost set it up for you to react like this. And for me, I had an experience, during my way of impeccability,
Mm-hmm.
participation in the program with who was always sexually inappropriate,
Mm-hmm.
innuendos, and even after 63 years of life, I never knew how to handle them. I would just giggle because I never checked myself, and that was
Right.
the key that was missing.
Right.
So when you cue, even from a distance, that's when everything changed for me. And then you talked about, instead of these cueings being traps for you, you cue in that opposite direction. And
Mm-hmm.
once I did that, I knew, there's no way for me to get away from this person because I'm going to put it out there that I am in power. I am in control, not from a hierarchy standpoint, but it was just kind of reclaiming, empowering myself. And I'm going to tell you, I never had to say a word to him like, you idiot, who the hell do you think you know what I mean? And go through all that stuff. Because what I cued on the drive since that day, that man, he's 90 years old for God's sakes, but it didn't stop him from yipping like that.
Right.
He has never, ever said another sexual innuendo since then. This was his whole life.
Wow.
Yeah. And he respects you now. He even comes and talks to you and listens to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And him that really doesn't want to do that or is testing me like there's a positive piece, like he was put there for me to learn this. Again, unconsciously, I would think on his end of things. But it's just amazing when you recognize the abuse of no matter what the magnitude is, when, like you said, you made that choice to let go and face that awful, and you go from there and everything shifts. He's actually pleasant to be around.
Wow.
And I was always like, please. And then there sat my husband who wanted to kill the man. I'd like to have a crack at her one day. Really? My husband, like, you better knock it off. He would say to him,
Yeah.
I didn't think enough of myself in those moments, in that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Wow.
because you're obviously you were ready
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You were
Oh,
ready
yeah.
to,
Oh,
to make that shift
Yeah.
there. I'm telling you, it's
Oh,
it's a
oh,
big freaking deal for you.
oh,
Good for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I mean, yeah, from our point of view, we can. It's there. You know, it's so clear and obvious to us. It's you.
Mhm.
Good.
Your power, your potency, your sobriety. You know, again, seeing it from the outside is different to claiming it from the
Right.
inside. It's abundantly clear to us, but it may even be clear to you intellectually. But claiming it emotionally, this is a different thing. You've got to
Yeah.
feel it, otherwise, it's not going to be real. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
very important. Very, very important. And that's what's happening now, obviously. You're claiming the feeling of your power, the feeling of your independence, the feeling of your sobriety. And part of that is the ability to say, hey, sorry, authority, sorry, world, sorry, parents, but in this, you're wrong. That's it. End of story. You've got to
That's
have that
right.
ability. You've got to have that ability. It's actually in the Bible, to me, you know, in a roundabout way that we don't recognize. Again, if we look at that big picture, now this is again just me, my interpretation of the Adam and Eve story. Why are those trees put in the middle of the garden?
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
you think about it, it's to, to create this deliberate awareness, deliberate disobedience, so that you're thinking for yourself.
Hmm.
If you cannot,
Interesting.
if you cannot be deliberately disobedient to power, right, when it's right, you're always going to be a slave and vulnerable to manipulation.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
You
Yeah.
cannot possibly, you cannot possibly ever be free if you are automatically obedient.
Yeah.
Deliberate disobedience has to be part of your makeup if you're going to be free.
Mhm.
Has to be. So
Hmm.
you would think God has enough sense to figure this out, right? Well, and puts the tree right in the middle. Duh.
Yeah.
It's a setup. It's a setup, for choice, for deliberate choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the poor serpent gets a really bad rap. The serpent didn't lie at all, right? I mean, but truly, it's all like he's wicked, but what did the serpent say that actually turned out to be untrue? Nothing. The serpent told the truth completely,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's
Hmm.
amazing. So, the parable of it for me, the abstract is just to look a little deeper, zoom out, look at the overview perspective, look at the abstract, be clear about what's going on, say, what's going on here? What's the intent here? And when we start to look in the bigger picture, like obviously with all of this, you see, and we get that awareness, that understanding. There's more going on. There's that bigger picture. And to me, the biggest picture is one of just absolute incredible genius and goodness and awesome. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. How fantastic is that? Yeah. How fantastic is that? It's quite something.
Yeah.
Quite something.
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. So the question for me also remains: how do you feel now in coming into the session?
A lot better than before.
All right. So
Yeah,
yeah. So
just
peace.
a burden's been
Eh,
lifted for sure. Like
ah,
I don't have to do,
yes.
I'm not required to let that cueing affect me.
Mm,
I can,
yes.
I feel like I can choose now. I was able to choose
Yeah.
before, but I
Yes.
actually feel like I can now.
Yeah. 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 And you can choose your emotions, which is the important part.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
key. Your reactions, you can respond, and you can respond with awareness rather than, just with reactivity, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this affects your relationship with your neighbor. Any interactions there?
Nothing. No, I haven't even seen her. She hasn't.
Interesting. Interesting.
No,
Interesting.
she's been hiding.
Yeah, and that's good. And that's good. I mean, it's if there's no interaction and you guys are just going about your things without any moreness to it, that's perfectly fine. You're happy. You're not avoiding her, but you also do not need to interact, right? Whatever they do, you're fine with, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Powerful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And you are happy, I'm assuming, especially after these perspectives, what Beena and Sue so magically shared, that you are happy about the totality of it.
Yes.
Mm,
Yes.
appreciative.
Yeah. It's a lot more freeing. I feel like I have a lot. Um,
Yeah.
I'm just free of all of it. Now, it's interesting. You mentioned the neighbor that I talked about last week. Yeah, I didn't see her at all. It's
Okay.
almost like she avoided me, like, but it's been cold and
Uh-huh.
rainy and really no one's been outside.
Yeah.
But interestingly, the neighbors, so they're next to us. Across the street from us is another neighbor. And she and I, we have a different relationship. I actually like her. She's very
Oh.
sweet. Our kids play together.
Good,
Really,
good.
yeah, they're really good
It makes me happy that you've got good neighbors and somebody
Well,
that you can connect with.
I like her a
Oh,
lot. The past, but the gun went off and it
oh,
it killed him. It's very tragic. So
yeah.
when I met
And
her, so that was
what makes it more tragic is just the kind of unnecessariness of it. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So I don't really know all the details there because it's still a touchy subject, but that happened shortly before we became friends. So my relationship with her is very different. She's so sad. She's so hurt. She has so much so kids and some food, you guys can stop. And
Brilliant.
she was outside, I guess, having like a
Mm.
bonfire. I don't know. It was weird when we went there. I didn't know where she was. And we were inside with the kids and everything. But later in the night, it just kind of turned really awkward. And yeah, there's been
Yeah.
awkward moments, but not like this. Tension, it made me think about it. Husband said,
Well,
she's
yeah.
having a tough
Mm.
time. And come to find out, I guess this was uh her dog passed, her dog of 15, 16
Oh,
years. And this was a year later on his birthday or something. So,
mm.
I'm noticing things and they're really good people. And
Yeah.
she's turning to, in her depression, she doesn't know how to deal with it. But she's
Yeah.
a very sad individual, something. And then she
Mm.
see like the hurt happened, had to deal with stuff. So,
Yeah.
I don't drink anymore. But
Yeah.
it was emphasized so strongly, the pain and the hurt. And that was like a foreshadowing of
Yeah.
what I was about to deal with the very next day. So it
You got
was,
a warning to
mhm. I didn't, I saw it and it was emphasized and I was thinking about it and trying to sift through it. I had no idea how it was going to apply. But now looking back, oh, okay, I get it now. you know, and I don't, you know, I like her. She's a really sweet person, but I can't help her. You know what I mean? But what she's going through is like, you know, it's like I have it on a smaller scale, but still to me it's just around her more. And it doesn't bother me, you know, and they have, you know, they have a swimming pool, an in-ground pool and stuff. So summertime, that's where all the parties are, you know, they always have their friends over and they usually invite us over, but the kids are always there hanging out. It's just kids everywhere. And I noticed like we came over one day, he saw Alyssa lean over to her friend. Oh, they're here. You know, when me and Ryan like entered the picture, and I didn't see that, but Ryan did. And it was very obvious that they're talking about us, you know. So there's been a lot of things. I'll go, and she's cordial, very cordial and sweet, but it's fake. Okay, I mean, I almost rather, but yeah, there's, and I'm learning to become happy, and she's not there yet. She doesn't know how to receive happiness because she's so hard on herself, maybe guilt, like, I don't know. But yeah, just she's dealing with something
that
big.
alone your happiness for some people is very problematic. Comparative mindset. And that's sad. If you're happy, the happier you are, the worse you make them look, of course, right? And so they don't like the comparison.
Yeah.
And it isn't, I mean, it's appropriate, you know. They aren't doing what they need to do. So it does make sense, but they work on themselves and all that. So it is it's a big deal.
Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying about, you know, when it was seeing what she was going through, and it was kind of bringing awareness to what I'm about to go through. You know, I appreciate you bringing that up, because you're right. My awareness, once you're fully aware, you can see the future, really.
Oh yeah.
You know all, you know what. On, yeah.
Oh yeah, kind of. I mean, yeah, it feels like
Idea of like, okay, get your shit here. I need to prepare for
this and de-emphasis,
Mhm.
because you go to a party like that and you see what's going on. We've got to learn to see and not see at the same time. So when you see that, you de-emphasize it right into nothingness, and you emphasize the good parts. You emphasize the awareness that they're in pain and that, but not that side of it, but the fact that they are reacting out of inappropriate application of goodness. They don't know what to do, and they don't know how to be. They're acting out of reaction and habit and conditioning and all this stuff. But you know that's really there underneath them. They're good people. They can be nice people, and you just emphasize your perception of their goodness and their niceness.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it. So you just shift that ratio, that balance, instead of having it to all be the same. In other words, just like a blanket, accurate perception. Yes, you're not saying that they aren't being sort of a little bit crappy. You just de-emphasize that, and it's like you don't even see it. So then, when they do that and they don't see it reflected in you, oh, they're just being nice to me, and then now you cue them that niceness, you cue the goodness, you cue the friendly, and then they respond to that, and now you start a new cycle, right?
Yeah.
That's the magic, and this is a powerful skill to learn. It's a very, very powerful and necessary skill to learn. Very important. You know it
Yeah.
with your kids already, right?
Yeah. Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so like the kid falls and they scrape their knee, but mildly, not a really big thing, and they'll kind of look at you expectantly, like, oh, what am I do? And you're like, like no big deal. But you'll see a poor thing, and then they're like, and they fuss, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
just all about
exactly.
that whole social situation, seeing what's going on. You've got to manage that awareness. Otherwise, what you see, because can cue inappropriately. Because most people, when you come in and they do something, right, and you see the positive and the negative, they're going to be much, much more reactive to the negative than they will to the positive, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So that's the key here, to be aware of the hypersensitivity of people to our recognition and understanding and awareness of their nonsense, right? So we've got to see it because we don't want to be, blind and oblivious, but also de-emphasize. At some point, some part of them will know that, hey, you see it all, but you are choosing to react to their goodness only. Very deliberate what we do.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yes, for sure.
very
Yeah,
powerful.
just kind of wrapping up that story there. Um, so my relationship with the neighbor next to me versus the neighbor across the street where the kids are
Uh-huh.
friends. Across the street, she has her issues and things she's dealing with, but it's not deliberate. Like she's not trying to harm me.
Yeah, correct,
She,
correct, correct,
like I can
correct,
see that
correct.
she's hurting. And when you're hurting, you kind of clam up in that shell. Now, last week,
Yeah,
her
yeah,
intentions are deliberate to harm.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the
yeah.
contrast, it's very clear just talking through it now. I'm coming to this realization. It's
Mm,
very clear the difference. I see the types of people
yeah,
that they
yeah,
are now.
yeah,
Very clear. And that's probably why
yeah,
she didn't even appear. I didn't even see her all week,
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but just very interesting. And then one
yeah.
more thing I was gonna say before I forget cueing. When cueing my kids, Aurora, she got this little scooter. She's 1.5, and she's
Very good.
crazy, but she wanted a scooter. It was very obvious for Christmas.
Wow,
Uh,
wow.
we have some friends that had a scooter, and she'd always try to
Yeah,
use it and
yeah,
try to get her
yeah,
turn
yeah, yeah,
in there.
yeah.
Anyway, so we got her a
Brilliant.
scooter, and she just flies through, it's a little one, but she flies
Yeah,
through
yeah.
the house. She goes so fast. She's on one foot. Like I
Well,
think
brilliant.
I need to record or post a video. You guys are going to love it. Like
Oh, please do, please do. Yeah, please.
it blows my mind. I'm like, how old are you for real? There's no way you're 1.5, but she watches Juliet. Juliet's really good.
Yeah,
She's got really
yeah,
good balance. So Rora's over there, one leg. I mean, she just it's
incredible.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
going really fast, like she does run into stuff. She could, from time to time she crashes. And the first thing she does
Hmm,
when her scooter tips over, she runs into something. Now, if she actually gets hurt, this doesn't apply, but usually most of the time she's not hurt. But the first thing she
yeah,
does when she's on the ground, she looks at me.
yep,
She looks
yep,
at me to
yep.
see how should I react. And
Yes,
this is the
yes,
most important cueing that I can
yes,
do.
yes,
And I
yes,
will
yes, yes, yes.
applaud her. Good job. Get back up. You're doing so good. And just
Yeah,
overly shower her with
yeah,
positive cues. And you know
yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah.
Almost every single time she gets back up with a big smile on her face and keeps going.
Exactly, 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 exactly. And when we realize that adults similarly behave, that like children, they do stuff without thinking, and then they crash into
Mhm.
stuff. Like your neighbor when she said, "Oh yeah, they come." They don't think. They're
Right.
not conscious. They're not being strategic. They're
Right.
charging around on their scooters and they crash into stuff, right?
That's
So
right.
how
Yeah.
cue when they do those crashes? This is just our maturity and sophistication and our impeccability as spirit warriors, that we deal with it differently.
Absolutely. And when I didn't add this, but when that happened, the day we went to the pool over there, you know what I did? I pretended it didn't happen. And I went over there, hey,
There you
nice
go.
to see you, ladies.
There
And
you
you
go.
know what?
There you
She actually
go.
was, it kind of
Right.
overcame the weirdness.
Exactly. 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 And again, we don't have to even pretend. We can just emphasize and de-emphasize. Say,
Absolutely.
okay,
Yeah,
it's
just
a small thing,
exactly.
right? And emphasize her goodness. They say, I know you can be crappy, but I'm gonna love you anyway, and it's not
That's
gonna
right.
matter to me. That's it. So what? We all can be stupid at sometimes. I don't even. It's not even a thought. I'm not even thinking about it in that way. It's so de-emphasized that it doesn't even have that part. Because even if that much is too much, any
Yeah.
bit your awareness connects, you just totally de-emphasize it out of existence. The best example for this usually is when you got to deal with a guy that is just a real jerk, obnoxious guy, and he's trying to get in your pants. And you've probably seen this with girls, right? Where they tell the guy, look, f off, get lost, and I don't want to know you. And the more mean and horrible and rude to him, the more he keeps coming. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
you've seen that. But if you see the same thing where that guy spies out the girl and this girl just absolutely doesn't even notice him, he doesn't exist to that girl, he can't go and talk to her, he can't approach her, he can't do anything.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the same logic. They can't react. So because there's no attention there, and even ignoring or even being rude is a kind of an attention. So that de-emphasis, it's really powerful, right? You don't even see it. You don't
Hmm.
even notice it. It just takes that stuff right out of the equation. So this is a very powerful skill. And again, too, you're doing the reverse. You are deliberately, consciously emphasizing the person's niceness and their goodness. And when others see this, then they have that default habit to react nasty and horrible because they think they should. It's that hierarchy game. But when somebody comes and basically gives them a good name, they try to live up to it. Wow. Wow. Now I get an
Mm.
opportunity to be nice. And this is a blessing. This is a gift. And it's a relief. I cannot just be nice, but I can be honest. I can be open. I can be tender. I can be vulnerable, etc. 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 When you do this, it's an act of nobility. And again, we know we all have negative and positive sides. We all can be anything under certain circumstances. It's situational. It's not your real self. Your real self is that deep inner goodness and marvelousness, right? So it's not like we are, distorting the truth. We are just emphasizing the real truth that tends to get covered up. Yes?
Mm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very powerful. Very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. So it's a magical thing. It's a really, really magical thing to do. It's a very powerful thing. This is moral and ethical leadership. This is the largesse of spirit leadership. This is leadership via nobility. You're not looking to make people do one thing or the other. You just relate to them in a particular way, and it creates an environment for their mourners to blossom. That's it.
Mm.
What a magical thing, yeah?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And incredible.
Yeah,
Very incredible. It truly is
very.
a magical thing. And it's a beautiful thing too. And also people get they realize, like your neighbor across the street. After a while, they realize, wow, I don't need to be that way. I don't need to be afraid. I don't need to feel put upon. I don't need to be comparative, etc., etc. So
Right.
yeah, yeah, very
And
powerful.
it's funny because usually by herself, she's not that way. I think it may be her friends and you know what I mean. Like I think there's more
Yeah,
stuff there.
exactly. Exactly. People get very different when they're in social environments and they feel they're supposed
Yeah.
to behave
Yeah.
in certain ways. But again, you just de-emphasize, emphasize. We become
Yeah.
wizards of emphasis. For
Yeah.
many reasons, we want to be wizards of emphasis. This is one particular such, and it's a very, very, very powerful and very big deal. It's very, very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You can.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant.
A lot
All right,
going
so
on.
it's fantastic. It's fantastic, and I love how you added to your dictionary of power.
Oh,
That
thank
you
you.
added poems to your dictionary of power. You know,
Yeah.
This is very powerful. You know, the title is the entry into the dictionary of power. The poem itself is the extended understanding. Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. That's how I wrote it down. Well, I didn't know it was going to be a poem. I was just like, oh, this, I need to talk about this. And then you just kind of keep writing. And it's like, oh, wow, this takes up half the page. But that's how it works sometimes. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's poetry. Fantastic. Where were we on module?
Okay, so
Uh,
I've been actually doing stuff behind the scenes. So I've wrapped up session. So module 1, I was on session 2. I
yeah.
feel like we went through session 3 because I went back because I originally
Yes.
went through.
Yes.
I
Yes.
originally went through module 1, but I didn't do it slide by slide for some reason. I don't know. I just
Correct.
didn't do it that way. So I went back and I did it. So there's 2 more
Nice.
slides to module 1, and then
Nice.
I'm in module 2 now. So I'll do the
Okay.
wrap up,
Okay.
and then we're skipping to module
Yes.
2 because we did the
Yes.
3rd,
Yes.
and yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
so this will kind of get everyone on the same page. But
Brilliant.
I'm on
Brilliant. Let's do that.
I'm on page 22, and this is really, so this is the repeat back, and everything written down. I said all of these apply to me. It was saying which ones apply to you.
Okay. This is page 22 of session 3.
You know what?
Module 1, session 3, or which
This
which
is,
which module, which session?
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Sorry. Yeah, we overlapped a little bit. Which module?
Module 1, session 2. And my page was 1 page off because I started numbering these prior to when we received the book.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it is actually page 23 because I didn't include the cover page and the book does. So anyway, but this is second to the last one, I believe. Anyway, so which of these apply to me?
Yeah.
And clear what the course is about, which to me, it's about.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. 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 And again, you know, when I say exactly, I'm not saying it like, oh, what it's about to you. The course of session 2, the second to last slide. Beena, what is the course about for you? Still is, not was, is. Since we deal with the daily. Beena, you there?
Oh.
Go ahead. Oh, audio just dropped for a second there. So Beena, what's wave impeccability about for you?
Sorry, my audio was also dropped. So please just.
Oh, I was just asking in this question here. Janelle's about to give us a response to this, and Sue also, Janelle did. I mean, Sue's about to give it, but I'm just keen to hear from you what wave impeccability is about, what it's about for you.
What is about for me?
Yeah.
It's a different question. You never asked me this before, and this is really interesting. What way of impeccability is about? Way of impeccability is about me and the world inside me, and the connection I have with myself and within myself and outside myself. Way of impeccability is about everything for me. Yes, it's of course the details that what way of impeccability is a different deal. But what is
Exactly. It's a different question. Yeah.
it's about what way of impeccability is? We have a lot of definitions for that. But what way of impeccability is about me. Is about me within me. What's inside me? What's within me? And what is my relation within myself,
Yeah.
with myself, outside myself? So way of impeccability is about this for me.
Very cool.
Mm.
And Janelle, will you just repeat what it was about for you? Because I don't think Beena heard that.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I said it's about enhancing my meaning of life.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
All right, now let's hear what Sue says. I'll just keep here because I'll have to keep. I have to keep quiet. Sorry. Go ahead, please, Sue. Please, Sue.
What I find interesting is, my copious amount of notes here, and I'm on
Yeah,
module one,
love
session 2, in the
Uh-huh.
tasks. And did you add this one since March? Was there any changes?
Oh, it's possible. I don't
Yeah.
remember if I did, but
Yeah.
it's possible. You don't have this? Wow, interesting.
What are the goals
What?
and aims? Yeah, your understanding.
Write
of
down which
course.
of these connect to you.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
clear what the course is about. The course is also about the application and so on. Interesting. Okay. So, what is wave impeccability about for you? Like Beena was saying, there's kind of a difference, as opposed to module 8 where you have that wave impeccability is, but what it's about, it's a little different thing. So, just on the spot, I'll ask you.
I'm sorry, I was still looking. Say it again. So sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. Just
Why is this not here? I mean, it's because it had to be.
I, I I don't remember adding. It's possible that
It's exercises.
Mhm.
It's
was there, yeah. But it's not a regular task or exercise. It's just a
right.
regular
I
note.
made it
Yeah,
an exercise.
yeah,
I
which is
kind of turned it
fantastic.
into some that might be didn't ask.
Just I imagine those Sue might have had a repeat back or a takeaway on it. She typically does. So the previous slide is you'll only share what you've learned via repeat.
Yeah.
But all good, no worries.
No,
I'm
Well,
just curious now. If you think about it now, just answering it now. What's it about for you, Wave?
just that it really, really showed me that first of all, you have to apply. You just can't keep thinking about these things that you want to
Application.
do and believe and them. And again, what it was clear is that it just started from the place that I wasn't goodness applications of my goodness. But even in those moments that they were impeccable. They were impeccable. But I think the biggest thing is that application and having new tools. And with the dictionary of power, it's tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
And that goodness that comes out in you every time we connect to you. It just what a joy. What a joy. What a joy. What a joy. Fantastic. Now,
And
if
so
we zoom out. Oh, go ahead, Beena. Go ahead, Beena. Go ahead.
I was just asking you that what is way of impeccability is about for you.
Mm. Oh.
Mm, mm. Wow. 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 I never really thought to answer the question so specifically, but it's all three of what you said. It's about me, it's about application, it's about meaning of life. And it's about a mechanism for living and the living deliberately, which gives me that meaning. And it's that application through deliberateness. So it's me living deliberately. And right there, you've got the blend of the meaning and the purposefulness, the deliberateness, and owning yourself. So it's that exactly what all three of us said, which was what I was going to comment. I was going to say what I hear when I zoom out. I hear you all saying the same thing, but just from different angles.
Okay, okay. So first, thank you so much for sharing. I asked you
Sorry,
this.
Beena, 1 second. I just wanted to add. It is about self empowerment for me.
Hmm,
You're not
okay,
learning
that's
this from
it.
somewhere else. You're getting to that end point through your own power, your own steam, your own means. All that the
Me.
program does
Yes,
provides the tools for self empowerment.
yes, yes. Okay. So this is Sue and Janelle. Why I shared, why I asked him that this question, because this is how I'm training, and of course, Sil is helping me big time to train my brain to see the nuance, to experience, to extract the nuance, and then pay attention to.
Mm.
Very beginning, the question was what a way of impeccability is. So my definition was way of impeccability is paying due respect to everything and everyone. And that is what all about way of impeccability is for me. But today the question was different. And he asked that what way of impeccability is about. This is a different question. And that's why I'm just paying more attention to that. But this is how we train our mind to see that, to feel, to actually grasp that nuances in quotes and in slides and everything. Because now
Mm.
it's perspective. It's not like what way of impeccability do. Yes, oh God, there are unlimited definitions for that. But
Yeah,
what way of impeccability is about for you, it's a different
yeah,
question now. So
yeah,
that's why
yeah.
I just
Again,
make the obvious and then put more emphasis. That's why I asked him also. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing.
oh, Chanel. Because Janelle did this a little differently. This is the confusion here a little bit. Janelle took these as questions rather than as saying, write down which of these connect to you, which would be just to say, okay, I'm clear. Yes, the course is about application. Yes, these all connect to me. But she just turned it into a question and then answered it, which is very cool,
Mhm.
Janelle. Very cool.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you.
Does that make more sense now, Sue, for you or no? In
oh,
your
sweet.
notes. Oh, Sue's muted. All right, no worries. I'm just curious
Yeah.
there.
Oh, no, definitely makes more sense. Definitely makes
Okay,
more
okay.
sense.
Because I didn't remember adding it. But it's possible. It's possible. I didn't remember. All right, so keep going, Janelle. Keep going. Keep
Okay, so well, they all apply to me. I wrote them all down, but the course is also about
going.
the course is also about application, and this is definitely something we just touched on um, earlier. But for me specifically, just learn to apply each takeaway, and I notice life is so much like school. When you learn something in school, there's going to be like a pop quiz or a little test. There's going to be something to see. Did you really learn it? Were you paying attention? And I'm noticing like the more I learn in life, this happens. So I will have an
Yes.
opportunity to apply, maybe, okay, so queuing, for example, that was really emphasized to me. I think that was like a week or two ago, you know. Well,
Yeah.
now it's like, oh my word,
It's everywhere.
it is everywhere, and I'm learning. There's so many
Yeah.
different types of queuing, and I
Yeah.
really didn't understand it. It was so
Yeah.
fascinating. I just didn't get it. But
Yes,
now
Janelle.
I'm
Yes, Janelle. Yes. Yes. Sorry, keep going. Keep going. I
Oh
was
no,
listening.
but now I'm so immersed in it. Like, how do you not
Yeah.
see it? Like, how did I not see it before?
Yeah.
So when you want to learn something, just step aside. It's on its, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're hang
Exactly.
on because it's
Exactly.
gonna
Yeah.
blast you.
Yes. So way of impeccability is very, very sneaky. Look, there's no tests in it. No one single test of any kind, right?
Right.
We don't need them because the universe is going to be doing the testing for us, right?
Right.
kind of, but it's magical testing. It's rather opportunity to apply, which is a whole different thing. Testing is just testing your memory, really, but opportunity to apply is this gives you the opportunity to show that you really do get it. And through that application, if you don't get it, you learn even more and you get to figure out what you didn't, and then, oh, okay, I get it now. And the repetition. Oh, I mean, how many times did you get to practice that application of queuing this week, the whole week? And you're going to be still for the rest of your life now, because now you know it. It's a new part of your life. Yes.
Yeah. And the funny thing was, I was involved in this prior to knowing about queuing. I just was unaware of when I was doing it, maybe.
Exactly. That's why we this whole program, it's about, that's what I said, about self-empowerment. We already have the power. Empowerment doesn't mean gaining power. It means the ability to use your existing power.
Mm,
That's very important to
absolutely.
understand, right? So you need to first get the power, and then you need to learn how to use it. But most of us have power. We see the stuff, we know, but once you get just that click and you just have the right angle to see it, oh, yeah, I kind of always saw that there, but I didn't quite realize what it was. And I said, now, that's the moreness, that's the magic that we all have. It's just a matter of connecting to it. Really, really potent stuff. Really, really potent stuff. Very cool. Very cool.
I'm just writing a quick note here.
Please take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
Okay. The third point is I'm going to participate in building a dictionary of power, which I've clearly already started, but I see the importance of this now. And I see the importance to write it down when it's there, because in the moment it's put, the way that it's understood to you and the way you receive it is how you need to share it with others. Because if you think you're going to remember it, it's going to be you may, but it won't be with the same emphasis, and it won't be with the same magic.
Yeah.
It's going to be almost like not as cryptid as, you know what I mean?
Remembering is not sufficient, right?
Yes,
Remembering's not enough.
yes.
You need more than remembering. Yeah. In other words,
Yeah.
you need understanding. You need that discernment. You need that awareness, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
ADU.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I was just saying ADU, awareness, discernment, and understanding. Those are so much more than memory. Memory is actually really pretty useless. You may remember all the stuff, what you said and what was taught, but if you don't understand it, you can't use it. You're just talking and flapping your lips there, not knowing what the heck you're saying. You need to understand it, not just understand it in the surface, but see how it connects and relates and interacts with everything. When you understand it to that degree, and you understand it from the point where you can apply it, like again, queuing. You can go and give a lecture on what queuing is, but unless you've used it and had it used on you, you don't really know it. So that's what we're talking about. Full understanding. Application is demonstration of understanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. My fourth point here is I'm going to shift to feeling my understandings. And this has really been a big one for me, because I have always been able to feel my understandings, but some of them have been, or oftentimes it was a reaction of feelings and not a choice of how I want to feel. So I'm learning how to choose my feelings, choose my emotions, and what is actually working best for me. That email that I got, I could feel the tension of being empowered and controlling my emotions, and not giving that up. And you know what I mean? And then there was this contrast, this clash, trying to get me emotionally worked up, trying to, want to fight back. And I had to deliberately make a choice. No, I'm in power. What people say and accuse me of, I'm not going to let that affect me, because that's on them.
Brilliant. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But
Exactly.
you
Would
feel
you?
that battle, you feel that intensity, and it's pulling you in both directions. You need to make that choice quick. You need to make a quick choice, because if you don't, one side's going to win, and it might not be the side you want.
Exactly. Exactly. And besides, when you get into this battle of right and wrong, everybody loses. It's like a black and white battle. Well, you end up with 50% of the thing. And it's not even 50%. You miss all the colors. It's like, wow, everybody loses in that black white battle. It's a horrible battle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah. We want to get to the color where everybody wins.
Right. And you
Also,
can choose. If you let yourself choose, you can choose the colors. I choose them
exactly.
all.
Exactly. Exactly.
Power pies.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. Exactly. Also, would you say that in regard to your father and your neighbors, both of them,
Hmm.
next door and across the road, that the feeling of understanding is one of awareness and compassion, particularly?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we have real compassion, that doesn't mean we feel sorry for people. That's sympathy. That's a different thing.
That's right.
Compassion
Yes.
is not sympathy.
That's
Compassion
right.
is truly just understanding. Yes, it is understanding with love added.
Hold on. I'm writing that one down. Just a minute. Compassion.
It's understanding with love.
That's good.
Yeah, it's really good. And when you come at the things in that sense, plus we go one extra step further. Our compassion, wave impeccability compassion, is compassion with awareness.
Mm.
Makes a big difference, right? Because otherwise your compassion could just tap into that bubbleness of people, and that leads to lots and lots of problems, right? Again,
Yeah.
your neighbor across the street, if you only with compassion, people are focusing on her sorrow and her hurt, all you're doing is you're going to emphasize that and just aggravate it by becoming immersed into it, right? Whereas
Yeah.
if you have compassion with awareness, you understand that you need to be focused on the joy and emphasize the joy and be de-emphasizing the hurt and the pain. This is very important too. So this is our compassion here is with awareness, so that we aren't inappropriate with our love. Yeah.
Mm. Yes. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And our compassion, it makes us aware that when in pain, we tend to be stupid, or we can be. Yeah. Pain makes us stupid.
Yeah, that's about right.
Right.
Write that
I mean,
down
look at
too.
those. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you see those animals trapped in the fence, and people come and try and save them, or in a trap or whatever. They're in pain. What do? They attack the person trying to get them out of it.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense, right? So pain
Yeah.
makes us stupid, yeah, or makes us irrational. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's very important to understand again compassion with awareness. It's very important to have compassion with awareness. Without that
Yeah.
awareness, you've got compassion for that animal, and the next thing you're trying to help this bird stuck in the fence, and it pecks your eye out. Yeah, so much for your
Right. Yeah.
compassion now. It happens.
Yeah.
It really, really happens. People get
Yeah.
get really into trouble, and then too, they don't end up helping the thing that needs to be helped. So we have to sometimes be aware that we have to be strategic and sensible and take measures that deal with that irrationality and that stupidity that results from pain.
Mm. Yeah.
Not always, but sometimes.
Yeah.
Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. My new focus will be on changing my habits of feeling. And I added to this and popping my belief bubbles. That's been emphasized very heavily. I You think you pop
Yes.
them all, but that was just the ones on top.
Yes.
You just it
Yes.
keeps
Exactly.
getting deeper. So
Exactly.
there was a lot of
Exactly.
belief bubbles
Yes.
that are hidden.
And
I mean, yeah.
exactly. Did you see the article I posted a couple days back in the group? The one on, it's called Feeling We Believe. It's about the relationship between feeling and belief. And then
Oh no, I
what's
didn't.
more beyond.
I'll have
Okay.
to look that up. Hold on,
I'll
what's
send
it?
I'll send you the link. I'll send
Oh,
you the
thank
link.
you. Okay, yeah, I want to read that for sure.
Yeah. Since I have it handy, right, Sue?
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very powerful article. Actually, I want to make it into little mini course with tasks and exercise and everything, just as part of the Mourners project. It is a very powerful article. Very powerful. Very powerful. There's lots to it. Lots to it. So, I mean, what you can do actually in the meantime, Janelle, actually, I would recommend this, is to treat this article as a little bonus session and just go through it.
Okay.
Okay, it's not in slides, but go through it either sentence by sentence or paragraph by paragraph, or and then do the repeat backs and takeaways of it and go through it that way. And then
okay.
do that for next time. Yeah, we'll go through it on Thursday that way. It's very, very powerful. That's just a huge amount. And it ties into exactly what you were saying right there on that last point. That, it's my new focus will be on changing my habits of feeling and believing. Absolutely, they go together and they feed off each other. And there's some moreness. But anyway, the article will go through it. It's very cool stuff.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Thank you.
do
I'll
it as a
that.
bonus session. Do it as a bonus session. Yeah.
Okay.
If you have a bit of time after this, I'm not sure. Hopefully, Sue, did you go through it as a bonus session?
No, not yet. I just got it at
Not yet.
2:30 this morning.
That's right. Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Maybe All right. Well, never mind then. I was just saying maybe then we could go through it, but if you haven't, then then Janelle could have just kind of stuck around and listened, so it would be cool too. But never
Well, we
mind.
can do that on Thursday.
Yeah.
Reading through it first will kind of give me an idea of what everyone's talking about.
No, I meant that I thought Sue might have gone through it already and done it with repeat backs and takeaways. So you go through it on your own till Thursday, and we'll go through it as repeat backs and takeaways, and then we'll also go through Sue's repeat backs and takeaways on Thursday. Yeah. It'll be very cool. Very cool. It's a powerful article. Yeah. Or session, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Next one.
I intend to apply the course in my day-to-day life. And you know what? Like, this just happened. I mean, I guess I put that intent out there because this naturally happens. Just how can you not, going through this, how can it not be part of your life? How can you not experience it and see it? It's everywhere.
Exactly. What were you saying, Beena, about what it's about for you?
It's about me. It's completely about me, inside me, within me, outside me, and the world, and my relation to myself.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, those are the puppies. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, I'm just ignore all the the noises.
Oh no, it's cute.
Brian let him out this morning, so they're getting crazy. Hold on, Beena. You said hold on. My relationship with me. Okay, that's really good. I like your perspective on this relationship. Okay, with me.
The whole way of impeccability, what we are doing, enhancing our abilities to perceive more, actually leveraging all our awareness, and also looking at things, beliefs, ideas in perspective, with an overview perspective, and not only overview perspective, but also from multiple different perspectives also. So it's all about me. What I'm doing. I have no intent to influence others by any means. Everything is about me in every situation.
What a sweet sound. That really is. That really is.
Too funny. Now we got to see them. I'm sorry, we have to make a break and an interruption here, but now we got to see them. We got to see what's making those sounds, right, Sue? We got to see it, right?
Let me take them in the kitchen because they're just, come on, guys. They're waiting for me to feed them. That's what's going on right now. So they're.
Oh, right. What are their names again? Echo and
No.
Jekyll, right?
Samson and
Yeah,
Delilah.
Samson and Delilah. Here, let me.
Samson
I
and
gotta
Delilah.
see this.
Oh,
Okay, hold on.
You're still sharing a screen.
Oh yeah, I can't do anything.
No worries. No. Put your video back on. I was sharing screen and I was blocking things. So you just put yours back on again.
Okay.
Yeah, just put your video back on and then flip it, Yeah.
There we
There
go.
you go.
Okay. There they are.
Oh, look at that. Look at those tails. Look at those tails going crazy.
I know.
Wow. They're almost twice the size from last time.
baby.
Oh, do they? Yeah, they're eating a lot. So, hey guys.
Oh.
Yeah, they're just
But
sitting over here waiting for some breakfast.
I mean, the change of awareness is significant. I mean, you are being looked at and recognized, right?
Yeah, we well, the last
you-
video we literally just got just a few days prior to when you saw them. So now they kind of know the routine and they know who I am. They know I'm
you're
I'm always
the boss
one
lady who
feeding them.
gives them food, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
So-
Are you feeding them now?
Yeah, you know what? Let me feed them breakfast really quick.
Sure.
I'm gonna
And
put
that's
this
what I was going to
down.
recommend.
You guys can keep talking.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, just go talk amongst yourselves. Hold on.
Says mom. Classic mom statement. Oh, just talk amongst yourselves. I love that. All right, mom. Oh gosh, that's like typically when you tell kids to talk amongst themselves, they have no clue what to talk about, right?
Right.
I do enjoy the talks.
Oh God. Oh
But
God.
yeah, that what you were saying, Beena, it made me think too. It's about my relationship to myself, but it's
Yeah.
also about feeling myself, feeling my moreness, particularly, at least for
Yes.
me,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because if we don't do that, then it's kind of a waste. Yes, I can have an understanding and a perspective on myself, but if I don't feel my new self, my new awareness, my new moreness, then it's a
Yes.
bit of a waste of time. So I
Yes.
have to shift that, and part of that shift of feeling is to shift my beliefs. Part of shifting my beliefs comes from this newfound awareness, which says, there's multiple perspectives.
Yeah.
Beliefs
Yeah.
are
Yes.
they a bit of a mirage. They're a bit of a chimera because they come and they go.
Yes. Yes.
But the things that really matter is the things that are me, my core, which is my impeccability, my
Absolutely.
integrity.
I can say that this is the most selfish course ever. Most selfish ever. Because you don't do anything to others. You don't try to. You don't even think about influencing, doing anything others other than impeccability. But it's all about me. If things are different, if things are not pleasant, even pleasant, if things are overwhelming, if situations are overwhelming, if I am not understanding, if I am getting more understanding, in every situation, it's all about me. I am responsible of myself and myself only. This is the whole core for me. This is what Way of Impeccability is about. I take charge of myself. I try to understand myself, my perspective, my inabilities and my abilities. I try to enhance my awareness. Not so I can say that this is the most selfish course ever, most selfish program ever. It's all about me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Sue, anything on that?
Mhm.
Well, that pretty much sums that one up. It's very
Yeah,
good. And it's nice because, how many times have we always putting everybody else
yeah.
before us?
And this lets us actually be appropriate when it comes to our care of others. Yes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
very much so. Very much so. It's very, very, very potent in that regard, right? We learn
Yeah.
when we don't do this, when we aren't aware and appropriate in the whole interactivity of ourselves and others, we end up being inappropriate when it comes to others, and then it causes a problem, right, for all concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if we don't deal with kind of nonsense behavior, like for instance with your father, if you don't
Hmm.
say no, no, sorry, this is it, you end up condoning his bad behavior, which makes you complicit in it by implication. Yeah,
Yeah.
non-action
Yes.
makes you complicit. So you don't have to combat against it, but you just simply saying no, sorry, not with me. It stops here, right? And then you are now not complicit, and you're not part of that cycle which perpetuates it. You're putting an end to the cycle. Very
That's
powerful.
right. Yeah. And for me, I I felt the most appropriate thing to do was not respond, because no matter when there's a manipulator, no
Exactly.
matter what you say,
Exactly.
they will use it against you. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter what you say, it's
Oh yeah.
always flipped around.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh
Yep.
yeah.
in
Oh
that
yeah.
case,
Oh
I
yeah.
can't respond because
Wow.
that's the queuing trap. Now I'm involved in that queuing trap and I don't want to be
Exactly.
involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Exactly. And from a PSP point of view, Sue, how would that relate here in this particular preciseness?
With a what point of view?
From a PSP point of view, the psychology of the superiority paradigm point of view,
Uh-huh.
from that.
Yeah, no, certainly that's what they love, and they want you to be on their side. So when you understand what they're doing and why they're manipulating and how they're manipulating, and you're aware of that, then sometimes the action from PSP standpoint is to just walk away, to not have a
Ah,
reaction to them, because sometimes you feed into them. But you have to be
exactly.
careful, because sometimes not reacting is also to them an agreement that
Yes.
you do believe what they're saying.
Wow.
So it's a
Wow.
little bit of a gray area, but you just have to know what the right appropriate thing to do is. It's not always engaging them, because they're not
Correct. Correct.
engageable in the
Right.
bigger picture.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. In this case, I'm assuming your father knows the non-action is an action. It's not just
Yes.
avoidance. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what Sue. Right, Sue. If I'm understanding you correctly, in that.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
It's not
Correct.
just if it's avoidance, then they know. Well, I've got them. They're scared of me. But your non-action, that's a firm stance in this particular
Absolutely.
case. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
it's,
what you were saying. Oh,
uh-huh. No, go ahead.
right.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that point of not feeding them, it is the black hole psychology,
Mm-hmm.
right? People like that, they're kind of like black holes. You cannot love a black hole better by definition. It doesn't matter, because it feeds on the love, and it becomes a worse black hole. It's
Mm,
just energy to the black hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have
mm-hmm.
to understand this about black holes. The only way to deal with the black hole is to give it no energy whatsoever, and then it starves, right? That's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very powerful understanding. Very, very nice metaphor. Another
Yeah.
thing
And,
with the black holes. Sorry,
uh-huh.
one quick point. Hold your point, please, Janelle. One more point to the black holes. They have an event horizon, literally, right? That's what it's called. And the event horizon, it's this distance that you can come where your engines of your ship, or the gravity from the black hole is too strong and you can't get away. Once you cross that black hole, you
Mm,
just get sucked in slowly until you go far. But that's important to know with black hole people too. They similarly have a zone, a sphere. It's not like you can't be too close to them either, like physically too close, because you still have this effect from them. So you have to have some separation. I mean, it doesn't have to be actual literal physical, but in terms of interactivity, there needs to be some distance. Otherwise, you get in that orbit and you get sucked in, yeah, and affected by it. Yeah. Or you
mm.
have to, you could maybe tread water, like you can balance it a little bit. You got to go spend a lot of energy fighting that gravity pull, and that's just not worth it. It's just a big drain
Mm.
on our energy. So you do need a bit of separation. That's important as well.
I like that. That's very good. Yeah, because a perfect picture of what actually is happening,
Yeah, exactly,
energetically.
exactly. So your non-reaction is saying, you want to do with this stuff, do it there in your bubble, in your black hole stuff. I'm out here in my spaceship, in my world, is my family, and we're just doing our thing. I'm not going to be sucked in by it. I'm not even going to go close enough where I have to tax my engines to get away from it for every minute. Stop, 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 sorry.
Right.
Yeah, it's very
Right.
important. Very, very important to understand.
Yeah. Yeah, my only point I was going to make is, in the past, I don't know if I could have been silent because that's a pretty bold accusation, what he's claiming. And
Yeah,
I in the past I felt like I had to stand up for myself. That's not true, or whatever, defend
right.
myself.
Yeah,
But when you have peace with yourself and you know who you are, which is what I like
exactly.
about this course, it's teaching you to be selfish in that, a good selfish, um,
Yes,
n-
yes, yes,
know you, um,
yes, yes,
you
yeah,
can make peace amongst the accusations.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You know who you
yeah,
are and they know who you are. And yet they're
exactly.
trying to, like you said, create that black hole. So just very profound, stepping back
Yeah,
and just kind of seeing
yeah,
it
yeah,
from overview.
yeah. And we have a fantastic power term for that selfishness. It's called sobriety.
Oh, let me write that in.
Yeah, that's the sobriety of a spirit warrior. It is to understand the necessity of independence, to understand the necessity of taking care of your own stuff first. Any warrior who's worrying about, his mate's sword stroke here next door to him, you're going to get killed in a hurry. You got to know how
Mm-hmm.
to do it yourself. You can't be like, bothering with other people's stuff. That's on them. They got to do that. So, I mean, yes. So that's sobriety, to know and be have this appropriate awareness and this balance of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Very important. Very important.
I, yeah, just ignore that. They're done eating. I have one
It's
more
no problem.
point
Sure,
for
please,
this
please, please,
page.
please, please,
And the
please.
last point I had here is I want to understand in detail so I can use and apply. And that seems pretty pretty straightforward, but when you really think about what that encounters, ending something in detail. Okay, now what you're saying this, but I need to live this. So that means takeaways,
Exactly,
extract from it, but you're
exactly,
probably gonna be going through it many times because there's
exactly,
so much in there.
exactly, exactly. It's constant. It's everything is like Beena said. It's the wholeness of everything. Like Sue said, it's always you applying. You're not just applying the things. You're applying yourself. It's a very different thing. You're applying
Mhm.
your understanding, you're applying your feeling, you're applying your awareness, you're applying your attention, you're applying your integrity, you're applying your impeccability, you're applying absolutely everything. But it's you. They aren't external things, right? Because those external things are like memory stuff and personality stuff, stuff that comes and goes. This is you stuff, deep in you stuff. So you are applying you, not layered stuff,
Mhm.
not external stuff, stuff that comes and goes. No, you're applying your real you. And that means you're getting to live and be and feel real you. Yeah. That's why it's capital U understanding here. Not little u understanding that people, they have this epiphany and realization, but it doesn't translate into that depth of understanding which is all connected. And it's particularly connected to you, your moreness, your deep core values and understandings and what matters to you and what's important to you, what gives you meaning. That's what you want to apply. That's part of you that gives you meaning. Yeah. That's real you.
Mhm.
Gives your life meaning, gives it purpose and significance, right?
That's right.
We like meaning and purpose and significance. That's MPS, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or magic per second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Very cool. All right, so you got to the task.
Okay. Hold on. Here it is. Okay. So that was slide 22 according to my numbers. I know it might be one number off from the book, but the next one is 23. Tasks and exercises. What I intend to accomplish through this course. Well, one, my initial goal was to become an incredible writer and communicator. I realized the thoughts and feelings that I have inside, I'm aware. Well, I don't even know if I was fully aware of them. You have it and it's hard to interpret, what is this? So I want to interpret it and understand it. And I knew there was not a miscommunication, but there was something lacking there. I wasn't grasping it 100% because I was not able to share. I starting the course, I had a hard time sharing, not because I was scared, but sharing because I didn't really understand these feelings and emotions that I'm experiencing. And it's hard to put those into words if you're really unaware or unfamiliar with them. So that was my main goal, to use and apply each of the concepts, not only to grow my awareness, but also to unlock the parts of my brain that I'm not really using as efficient, just through unawareness. We have, I forget statistically, most people only use a very small percent of their brain, 5 to 10%. And a genius is perhaps 12%. You know what I mean? Like, we use so little of our brain, and for me,
Exactly.
we all have so much there. We all need to tap in, know who I am. And that's actually a philosopher. I can't recall the name at the time, but anyway.
Socrates.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Exactly.
But I guess, as you go through it, just your intent, it changes even more. You get to, you know what I mean? Like, it seems so important to communicate well and to write well. But now that I'm going through it, like, that's only surface level.
Exactly.
It's so much deeper than that.
Exactly.
And
Exactly. Yeah.
I guess this is kind of an ongoing question. I can tell I never really fully got to the end of this. I must have been, I don't know. I stopped writing and I didn't see this through all the way to the very end here. So I'm going to have to come back to this because I don't even, there's so much depth there. Like, I don't even know where it's going to take me.
Excellent. All right. So I'm hoping we spoke of this before, but the key here is, as you go into this, just keep this one thought in mind: write ugly, edit pretty. I think we mentioned this before, right?
Oh, I wrote that down. Yeah, I'll reemphasize that.
So write ugly, because what you want to do is just to let stuff flow. So of course, one of the things they teach you in writing, don't like say and all the time. No, absolute nonsense. Say and in the time, edit it out afterwards, right? So just write and this and that, because that's how our brains work, right? So this, so that, and this, write ugly, let it flow. The key to this is to allow the immersion to happen. That's what the deal is, right? So it just flows. And then the more you get into it, the nodes in your brain literally expand and connect to more nodes. And suddenly the stuff starts coming more and more. That's when inspiration comes and connectedness comes. But you need to give that a chance for that immersion to take hold and suck you in. And then it all explodes. Right? That's the magic to writing. Clean it up afterwards. Don't ever edit while you write. It's a different brain. Literally. It's literally a different brain. You don't want to be in that brain.
Absolutely.
Not while you're writing. Right. So edit ugly. Write ugly, edit pretty. And do it separately. That's the other thing. That's why what writer's block is. They're trying to write pretty. They're trying to write the perfect sentence. It's not really possible to write the perfect sentence. Plus, they're so thinking of the end already that they don't give themselves the chance to get immersed into the magic of writing. Write any rubbish. It makes no difference. Your brain starts thinking, oh, your brain automatically starts doing it better as you write. It's very difficult to sustain writing rubbish. Try it. It's really, really difficult. Your brain automatically starts improving it and making sense out of it. And that's the thing. But you want to tell your story. You're not looking to write a story for somebody else. Your writing is actually listening to your own story and just writing it down as you listen to it. It's not a creative process, really. It's a listening process. You just describe. That's all you're doing. You're just taking notes.
Right.
Tell
That's
your own
very
story to
true.
yourself, and then listen to your own story, and it will feed on itself. The key here is, again, don't assume you know the full story. Know that you don't. Even memories. Know that you don't know the full story. When you get inside it, right, you're going to look at things, the me of then, right, your story then with the me of now. And that's a very different perspective. Very different perspective. So just trust it and just write, and you'll be surprised. And make space for that surprise and just write. So when you do this exercise now, do this, apply. Say, hey, I'm gonna, just let it come, and I'm gonna be surprised what's gonna come. I kind of know most of it, but I know I don't know all of it. So okay, allow yourself to get immersed, allow it to flow. Write ugly, edit pretty.
Yeah. Yeah,
Fantastic,
that has been
fantastic.
emphasized. Like when I start writing, like moment of bliss is now what it's called. Thank you, Beena. I just started writing, like, I didn't worry about what it looked like.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
it just, it was there and it just flows out of you. And before, yeah, I can't say always, I often used to think I had to edit while I went, but you lose the flow. That's the quickest way to get out of it. And I had to learn very quickly that's not the right way, because that gem that you have, it somehow gets sifted away. You got to hang on to it.
Yeah.
So
Janelle, just want to add something here because your poem, and I call it bliss, um,
yeah.
is really very difficult to articulate what bliss is. But
Yeah.
you,
Very.
but you did. And if you can,
Oh,
you can actually elucidate, explain what bliss is, you can
Yeah,
elucidate and explain all the concepts in way of impeccability really, really profoundly.
yeah.
mm,
No
And
doubt.
that's
thank
my
you.
last, yeah. And that's my last key point here on writing. Being, it is write what you feel, don't write what you think.
Mm,
Thinking is easy. Anybody can think. That's just like slog work. Go step A, step B. That's calculation. That's math. But writing what you feel, this is the magic. This is the magic.
mm,
Feel your story, write what you feel. Feel your story, write what you feel. Feel the mourners. Tune in. I know there's something there. What was that? And then the more you tune in, oh yeah, oh I see. And you're right. Feel it, feel it, feel it, and feel the edges of your story. Feel past your story. Feel the mourners. Explore. Feel, feel, feel. Feel those surprises.
mm.
Feel what you know is sort of there. And again, make space. Make space for surprise. Make space to feel what you did not expect. It's very powerful. And then
You have
write it. Just you write it down.
you have an amazing talent to do that. Very beautiful, really.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the encouragement. Thank you.
We
It's
want
not.
to see more. We like your style of doing your dictionary of power. I think this is fantastic to have your entry and then you write a poem on your extended explanation. This is fantastic.
Oh,
This is fantastic.
and Janelle, it is not just an encouragement. It is appreciation what you
Yeah.
really truly
Oh,
have.
Yeah.
That's it.
thank you.
It's our joy as facilitators that we always get some magic, some newness, some learning, some growth. Every time we grow when we do this, because we do this with you.
Yes.
Mm,
True?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yes.
So,
Brilliant.
Oh, this has been really good.
well, well,
It's been very magical. My goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll see you on
perfect.
Thursday. We'll see you on Thursday. We want
Absolutely.
more. And you know, if Ryan, I mean, I appreciate Ryan's things, but in the meantime, we'll take advantage of it,
Exactly.
you know, and okay,
Okay.
as soon as he's ready, there you go. We'll just, you know, switch it out again. So, but we'll
Okay.
take advantage in the meantime. We'll
Right.
leverage him a little bit too. Brilliant.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All right.
and he's not ignoring. He's
I
really
know.
just
I
He's
know.
honestly had a
I
lot, but
I I
it's all,
I know.
you know,
It's all good.
it's time
Exactly.
for me
We'll make it
to,
work.
yeah, we will make it work. Maybe it's time for me to kind of get out of my shell a little bit.
Yes. Yes. I
Oh,
would
it's
say
so
so.
comfortable in there. I
I
need to
would
get
say
out.
so. Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
Uh, all
All
right.
right.
Well, thank you again. I really appreciate the feedback today and just everyone's
Total pleasure, Janelle.
just
Total pleasure.
perspective.
Perfect.
This has been wonderful. Thank
You
you.
have a
What a
great
joy.
day.
What a joy for
And
us.
All right, you guys
Send
as
puppies a
well.
All
hug
right,
for
Janelle.
me.
Yes. And
All
Well,
right.
I will.
when we're talking about the puppies, you talk about all three of them.
Oh,
Now it's 5. It's 5.
that's right.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
from the,
Yeah, but
All
I don't know if the
right.
children are puppies. I know Ryan is a puppy, but I'm not sure if the children
Oh.
are. They're quite grown up already, right?
Oh,
I
just all the
tease Ryan, but
puppies.
I tease Ryan.
All right.
Bye bye,
Yeah.
See you
Janelle.
All
soon.
right.
See you on
Bye-bye.
Thursday. See you on Thursday. Yeah, bye bye.
All right.